name is Kevin Mach, and I'm one of the creators of Vikings of Dragonia, a strategy game for 2 to 5 players that plays under an hour. Let me walk you through the game to show you how it's played. I'll talk about the game components, how the game is played, scoring honor points, battling your opponents with fireballs, and the unique powers of the wild dragon. Let's first take a look at the components. We have wooden meeples representing the Vikings, cubes representing the village, and the red dragon that represents the wild dragon. Here we have Viking coins with denominations of 1, 5, and 10. We have a deck of power cards that contain special abilities. We also have tiles to build the map of the game. In this case here, we've made it for a 3-player game. The tiles are set up by sliding the tiles together. And you notice that the game board is modular, so that each game is different. On these tiles are water spaces and island spaces. The island spaces contain the value for collecting coins during the loot phase. There's also an island called the Wild Dragon Cove, where the wild dragon resides, and I'll talk more about what the wild dragon does later. Each player controls their own Viking clan, and are given 8 Vikings and 1 village of the same color, as well as an overview card and 5 coins. Once the board is set up, the game begins, and the youngest player goes first, and receives the Viking leader card, which denotes the player that goes first in that round. Starting with that player and going clockwise, each player places 1 Viking and 1 cube on an island to establish that village. The objective of the game is to score honor points, and the first player to declare 8 honor points wins the game. There are 3 ways to score honor points. For every island you occupy with a Viking, you get 1 honor point. So for example, if a black player occupies 3 islands, they get 1, 2, 3 honor points. The second way to gain honor points, exchange 25 coins. Here are 25 coins for an honor point card. The third way is to actually collect the honor card from the power card deck. Since each player always starts off with a village, each player always has at least 1 honor point throughout the game. Now let's talk more about the gameplay. Each player is given an overview card, which summarizes all the different possible actions a player can take. Now the game is played over an unlimited number of rounds until a player declares 8 honor points. Each round consists of 2 phases, an action phase and a loot phase. Starting from the Viking leader and going clockwise, each player performs 3 actions. So in this case, Viking leader is the black player. They receive 3 actions. Yellow receives 3 actions. And then the white receives 3 actions. Once all players have made their actions, all players proceed to the loot phase, where they are dealt a power card for free and collect coins for each island that they occupy. So in this case here, the black player is on a 2, a 5, and another 2. So that's 9 coins. After that round is over, the player with the Viking lead card passes the card to the next player on his left. This player becomes the new Viking leader of that next round. Now let's look at the different actions of the action phase. There are 7 possible actions. So in the beginning of the game, the objective is to occupy more islands to collect coins and gain honor points. So let's start from the very beginning, where the black player has this island here. In order for the black island to expand, they would have to move their Viking from one space to another, and that's 1 action. If the black player wants to buy this island, that uses another action and a different type of action, and it costs 3 coins. On the third action, the black player can spawn a new Viking for 2 coins. Alternatively, the black player can use one of his actions to move a wild dragon from one space to another. Again, I'll talk about the special powers later. A player can also buy a power card for 2 coins and 1 action. A player can exchange 25 coins for an honor point. And a player can play a power card. Let's say they have this card called a Viking Raid. And it allows you to move your one Viking to any water space. So let's say the black player can move to any water space. And then that's one action. And the next action is to buy that island. Now, one of the exciting features of this game is the ability to battle your opponents through the use of battle cards. So let's say, for example, that the black player has these 3 fireball cards, and the white player has these fireball cards. And let's pretend that the white player occupies this, and the black player has here. And let's say the black player really wants this island. What the black player can do, and these are cards hidden in the hand, is to play 1 fireball on the white player. Now the white player has 3 choices. To discard the Viking because he lost that battle, to play a retreat card where he returns the Viking back to his base, to his village, or he can respond with a fireball card. This is now a duel where the black player can continue to throw more fireballs. The white player can then launch another fireball, and the duel continues, again until one player retreats or discards your Viking. In this case, white player just retreats his Viking back to his village. Then the black player, once this battle is over, the black player can then use another action to buy that island. Now, another special feature of this game is the Wild Dragon. It is inactive in the Wild Dragon Cove, but once it comes out of the cove into any water space, it becomes active. Now, there's 2 special powers for the Wild Dragon. The first special power is that any island adjacent to the Wild Dragon cannot collect coins during the loop phase. For example, the black player cannot collect 5. This white player cannot collect 2. There is one exception where the village always collect coins regardless of whether the Wild Dragon there is present or not. So in this case here, black does not receive 5 and the white player does not receive 2. The second special power is safe zones. So if any island adjacent to the Wild Dragon cannot be attacked or be attacked out. So let's say the white player is here and they really want this island. In order for the white player to attack the black player, the Wild Dragon must be moved. So the white player must take an action to move that Wild Dragon away from the adjacent. Then the white player can launch fireballs or play other battle cards. Likewise, the black player can do the same back onto the white, but the Wild Dragon must be moved out. I hope you found this game intriguing. For more details, please refer to the rulebook. Visit our website at machbrothers.com. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Thank you.